Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to this online summit, which we are calling it as Outlook for 2022. Primarily, this was designed for all the stakeholders in the overseas education business. So I'm fully aware that the attendees today on this in this online summit are either study abroad agents, overseas education agents primarily, who promote this for business purpose. And there are quite a few institutions, representations also who are attending, to understand what would be the potential or scope or the way the world looks like today. Thinking slightly behind. I'm sure you're able to see my screen too. Thinking slightly behind. Things went by a couple of years ago you know, in a very difficult fashion. That was COVID primarily, as we all know. So which distorted the graphs that used to, we play with over so many years. So a very prime and critical important question that comes in our mind, is which way forward? How exactly does the, study abroad education or the overseas education look like in the near and far future? So I am, I think I'm aptly naming this as which way forward, outlook for 2022, because that is my primary and, the critical goal behind conducting this summit. The idea behind this summit, came by that since we are in the overseas education business, and I'm sure you guys also are, not so happy with the fluctuations that we are able to see over last so many months. Actually, it's almost 20 or 21 months across all the developed countries, which become the focal point for sending our students from South Asia over to those countries to study and to get employed in those parts of the world. But things have been not so very rosy, and it has distorted, I should say, the entire game plan, the way we used to look at in our own small or big territories that we used to manage. So, that's what, as you see on my screen, exactly speaking, even including us, sometimes we guess about things probably are looking like this, what we read in the newspapers, for USA separately, for UK differently, for Ireland differently, for France, for Germany, Singapore. So many different parts of the world are behaving different things, are doing exactly not to the way we imagine. And what we are actually doing is we are kind of imagining out of the the newspaper readings that we oversee, or the news clippings that we see on TV. So the idea behind this kind of summit, was to only educate ourselves and yourself as to what is the real way forward. Let's understand what exactly is happening at ground zero, directly from the experts, from the country experts, university experts, education experts, as to what is happening in those countries. So we consolidated a list of few countries and their experts who would be presenting today about the situations out there and how rosy or bad they are. That's going to help us exactly, to plan our small level of things as to what we can do and we should do in the near and far future. Our next focal point is fall 2022, and we are banking a lot on that. So which way forward, what's happening on ground zero becomes my critical, the game plan and the motto line for this summit too. On our panel today are 5 country experts. You can expect them to be live speaking from their countries. We'll have France, we'll have Canada, we have Germany, we have US, and we have the British Isles region, which is also called as UK or Ireland. These are the 5 gentlemen and 2 ladies too, who will be, expecting. We expect them to enlighten us on what's happening in that part of the world. And all of them, as you can see by their designation, by their representations present, they understand fully about the education system, academia, the political system, and how probably it looks, it looks like in that part of the world. So it will be Professor Gillies from France. It will be Mr. Patrick Dang from Canada. It's Miss Caroline from Germany, Dr. Ravi from US, and for UK and Ireland, it will be Miss Celestini. So without spending too much time on introduction only, let me just bring in the first speaker of the day today from US, and I'm going to introduce him first. But before that, what exactly we would like preferably should be the key takeaways as we feel from this summit. So as I said already, it will be, let's understand what's the situation out there really, not by the hearsay, not by looking at or hearing the news on the TV or otherwise. And amid uncertainties that prevail today, COVID comes in, comes out, crops in again, the fluctuations, the travel bans, the embassies not giving appointments, etc. So many uncertainties that we foresee today. What is the suggested game plan, or I should say business game plan for fall 2022, as we are always, we are looking forward to, and certain thoughts that will determine serious decisions, expectations, including the business continuity and growth. I must mention that there are many students who either canceled their plans, there are students who deferred their plans, and there are students who are, I know so many of them, they are putting their plans on standby. They are not changing their plan, but they are putting their plans on standby. They are not taking an Indian substitution exactly for that. There are many students who have done that, but they're not many who are not doing it. They really want to, wait and watch as to what happens. So let's understand from these experts, what they feel should be the recommended game plan or the recommended plan for students and the recommended business plan for all of us in the same business.